All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Driveway Engineer. What we have here is a catastrophe. I spared you a little bit of the details of pulling the 350 out. It's, 9 bolts, 11 bolts, 6 on the bell housing, 3 on the flex plate, 2 through the motor mounts, and that's done. No big deal there. But yeah, this is the easy part actually, and making your yard look like Sanford & Sons is the easy part of building a truck. We got a 454 under there ready to go. We got our chassis almost ready to go. I'm gonna pull those old motor mounts, they're pretty sacked out, and put God's dollar store degreaser on there, wash this off, pick up all my bell housing bolts that I see all over the ground. I haven't decided how I'm going to lift this. So this hoist is not that easy to move around. So I think I might push it forward to power wash it, paint it, and then roll it back and come in here with a bobcat, pick it up and set it, and then use the hoist to position it perfectly. I have the power steering pump, the factory stock one, just hanging here so that I don't have to mess with the lines. I hope that I can just swap pulleys and bolt that on, but probably not. Typically, if this were an LS, I would be able to take that whole fitting out of the back and put it on the 7.4 one, which I think I can do again. And then I have that weird rust spot in the frame that I want to cut out and address right now while I have that frame just sitting there. So I'm going to take care of that too. But yeah, we'll get this washed off and painted up and ready to go. And I'll probably put you guys on a time lapse and let you take a look at that. And then we'll be back. So first round done, I'll do one more. I'm going to go get some gas for the power washer, let this dry a little bit, and come back, hit it one more time with the power washer and the White Lightning, and paint it up. So I'm gonna roll it back, like, I don't know, I only got like 15 feet there, so I'll probably roll it back about 10 feet. That way I can get the bobcat in front. The clamp-on forks are not the move for a bobcat because it puts the weight way out front, but then I can get in here and drop it in, and like I said, I can use the hoist to fine-tune the final position. But yeah, I'll bring you guys back shortly. It'll be about 30 minutes. All right, second power washing done. That's as far as I'm gonna go. The sun's starting to come out, thankfully, so I'm gonna let this dry in the sunshine and drip off, and work on getting the intake, the actual intake on the 454. Part of the reason why I chose this 7.4 liter Vortec, it's one of the easiest swaps you can do. I guess it would be easier to go from like a 305 to a 350, but it's definitely easier than an LS. The only thing that you have to deal with, besides putting a carb intake on, which is just a normal big block carb intake all over Marketplace, and somebody pointed out in the comments last time around, there's no mechanical fuel pump provision on this block, which I have covered with my kit from Evil Energy. So that's no big deal. I mean, it's a little big deal. I'll have to plumb on the chassis however I decide to do it, but other than that, it just drops on and uses the same mounts, bolts right to the transmission, uses the same flex plate. Like the flex plate that's on it will work, the accessories that are on it will work. Maybe power steering pump fittings might get a little funky, we'll see, but not a big deal. So anyway, like I said, I might need the clamshells off that small block, but I don't think so. But I'm gonna bolt the intake on with the gaskets, let that dry, then I'll start taking the motor mounts off and patching that little piece of frame. I was curious, so I tried one cab bolt and it spun right off on that. So I think I'll be able to get them all without too much extra effort. I'm going to take that AC box off. I'm going to take the doors off before I pull it off the frame. Hopefully then I can just scoot it forward to get the bed off, but we'll see. That's all way down the line. Right now I'm going to put you guys on a time lapse so I can go back and listen to Bob Seger and not get copyright strikes while I put this intake on, which I want to put the intake on so I can hang it from the carb plate to set it. So that's something to do while this is drying. Yeah, we'll be back. Enjoy. And we're back. It's one coat. Not going for perfection. I am going for bulk coverage. The inside of the frame, it would be better if I sprayed it. I don't think I'm going to spray it today. I think I'm going to rattle can my little gaps in and let it be. This frame's protected, so, and it looks better. It's good 10 footer. So I'm gonna rattle can it real quick, and then I'll work on getting the rest of these studs out. This one's broken, that one's broken. Usually my good channel locks are all I need. I mean, these are actual channel lock brands. I have 420s and 430s. They both work for it. When they're above like this, like I said, usually I can just get them. Yep, there it goes. So that's usually all it takes. I'll bring you guys back shortly. I'm gonna lift that up with the jack, put it on some stands, and start working on getting the cab bolts out. That's when I'll bring it back. So this brings us current to where we are for the week. It's starting to rain a little bit. It's cold. I'm tired and sore. All the work I did yesterday. I need to repair these frame side cab mounts. And I'm either going to pick up a sheet of steel tomorrow and just cut new ones on the plasma table, or I might cut those ones off. They're all like compound curves though, so I'd have to cut it all funky. It'd be easier just to make a washer to go on there. Cab is sitting on the frame. Obviously it needs to come 4 feet further forward, but I have it where I have it intentionally for now. The cab is not perfect, as I mentioned before. It's good enough, and I'm not going to do anything about it right now, but it could use a little fiberglass. And I think on this side I might go ahead and spring for a drop-in floor pan and an outer rocker. This is what I'm going to use. I'm going to weld some tabs. I'm going to drill holes here for the seat mount bolt holes, and a piece of flat stock, weld it to this to pick up the cab better. I did damage the cab a little bit messing around. I don't really care. You see, I got that big bullet hole. If you didn't know, if I hadn't mentioned it, somebody shot this truck up. I don't know why, but there's holes in it. So I didn't realize that until after I was 300 miles down the road. But like, some of them definitely have to be patched because the water will come in, like that one through the back wall there. We can see daylight through. But yeah, in here I think I'll pull that charcoal canister, remove what's left of that battery tray, and probably heavy rust primer this, and then either flat black it or Krylon, something close to this color. Not a lot to do though, but yeah, all the front cab mounts, well, yeah, the front cab mounts, the rear are fine. The core support mounts and the front cab mounts are garbage. Need to grind on the headers to clear the exhaust bolts. Need to figure out a steering column. That one's like halfway out, but I couldn't get up under it. I think I might just buy another one for 50 bucks on Marketplace rather than trying to lay in the mess that is that cab. Although I could flip it up or try to cut it out. I don't know. We'll see. I am coming down to the home stretch, so once I get this back on the actual cab mounts, like, my first priority is hooking up a steering column so that I can at least push it around. But yeah, it's been a good weekend. Made a lot of progress around here, so I'm probably just going to leave this hooked to my truck all week. So I don't feel like unhooking the trailer today either. I can just drive the Jeep. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys are working on, and let me know what you'd like to see more of or less of or whatever. I thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time on The Driveway Engineer.